What's up, YouTube? Been a minute. Let's start things off with a shotgun. And then we'll get into this video and why I'm making it. Because I don't know, it's not really anything important. It's not really even important enough for me to give a shit if anybody watches it, because I'm really just trying to fucking blow steam off, I guess. Consider it a rant video, but I don't care if anyone sees it. Cheers. And yes, we're in my bathroom. I don't really feel like sitting in my room making this video. Don't ask why. Like I said, consider this as a rant. But I don't really care if anybody sees it or not. I'm trying to keep my voice down because it's late. People are sleeping. I usually do this kind of thing on TikTok. But, obviously TikTok, you can only really get 60 seconds. And, I feel like I need a little bit more than 60 seconds to say this shit. So, here we are. Tastes like pizza. Any fucking way. Yeah. It's been a rough year. And I say a year because it's been a year since all the shit that started going wrong in my life. I mean, there's always been shit going wrong in my life, but, to rephrase that, I guess I would say it's been a year since the shit really hit the fan for me. See, about a year ago, my wife left. Next Saturday will be the 1 year anniversary. And something really fucked up a week before she left happened. I don't want to get into that because it's, I just don't want to. I'm going to leave that part out, but I will just say that it was a stressful situation. A stressful situation thrown on top of a pile of stressful situations that me and her had dealt with over the course of our relationship and our marriage. But I guess this was just the straw that broke the camel's back for her, at least for her. And she was planning on leaving me before that, a couple of years leading up to that, but that was, like I said, the straw that broke the camel's back. So, something really fucked up happened about a week before that. And she was planning on leaving me, but she kept it to herself. I've talked about this in previous videos, I believe. She kept it to herself, and she put on a fucking smile and faked it and acted like everything was cool. And then dropped it on me at the last second. Literally, she didn't tell me she was leaving until the night before. When I walked into her bedroom and found her sitting on the bed crying, I was like, what's the matter? She's like, oh, I don't want to say. And I was like, well, I can't just walk in here and find you bawling your fucking eyes out. And, you don't tell me why. So, it took a little bit of pressing. But then she was like, well, I'm leaving. I was like, okay. When? Oh, tomorrow. So if it wasn't shocking enough already that she was even leaving, it was like when she said, "I'm leaving tomorrow," I was like, "What?" You know? And maybe I should have seen it coming for multiple different reasons. I mean, leading up to that, she'd been acting weird as shit. When you're together for a certain amount of time, and I was with her for, when she left, I was with her for 13 years. We were high school sweethearts. When you're with a certain person for a certain amount of time, you know how they act. You get used to their behaviors and their mannerisms and shit like that. And I knew how she was, so she was being weird. And maybe on that note, I should have known that something was coming. And I think I did know that something was coming. I just didn't know what it was. I certainly didn't expect it to be that. But yeah, she dropped it on me at the last second. "Oh, I'm leaving tomorrow." Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo, acting like she was upset. And I mean, we had agreed a year before that the marriage itself was over. We knew it was over. We agreed to stay friends, and I agreed to let her keep living here because this house is technically part mine. My father owns it, but it's part mine. I agreed to let her stay here because I didn't like her parents or her family, and she didn't like her parents or her family, which is funny enough because that's where she went when she left. That's a whole other thing. It's hilarious because, just a month before she left, she was saying that she was never going to talk to her parents again because they were assholes and that they wouldn't talk to her. And that, anytime something horrible happened in the family, she had to jump through hoops to find out what was going on. And that had been going on for years. So, of course, after a certain amount of time of going through shit like that, you're going to get tired of it and you're going to say, "I'm done." And I fully supported her on that matter. I had been trying to get her to see that that was the way for a long time because her parents obviously didn't fucking care, but she didn't want to listen to me. So when she finally said she was going to take that step and just stop trying, I supported her. And then a month later, she's like, "Oh, I'm leaving you and I'm going home to mommy and daddy." The same mommy and daddy that a month before she was saying she wanted nothing to do with. So, yeah. That's besides the point. I don't know where I was going with this. I'm a little bit drunk. So, if I keep veering off in different directions, it's going to be pretty easy for me to get distracted and forget about certain things. But it's just, it's been a rough year. And then, like I said, because we had agreed a year before that it was over. That's where I was going with this. We had agreed a year before that it was over, but we were still friends, and we still cared very deeply about each other. I would have killed for her, and she would have killed for me, kind of situation. I didn't want her going home because her parents were fucking scumbags, so I agreed to let her stay here. I didn't even agree, I offered. But, I guess really it goes back more than a year. It goes back to that point when we made that decision that the marriage was over. My grandfather started getting sick right around that time with cancer, going through the treatment for the cancer, and he died a few months later. All that happened in January of 2019, and then he died in April of 2019. So that happened, and that really fucked us both up. And then fast forward, And she leaves me in January of 2020, a year later. Dropped it on me like a bomb. And, it hurt. But I told myself, well, you know what? We already knew it was over, so I'm going to move forward. And even after she left, she said we were still going to be friends. She would keep in touch and all that shit. It was a lie, of course, but got my hopes up. And I figured, all right, well, I'll move on. And me and her will still be friends, and we'll still keep in touch and all that shit. We're family at this point, even if the marriage is over, we're family. We've been together for 13 years, and we've been through hell. We've been hell and back. So I'll move forward. 2020 is going to be my year. This is going to be the year where I start doing the shit that I've been putting off for years because, one reason or another. And then she cuts me out. We had an argument. I wouldn't call it an argument because I was pissed off and I just said a bunch of shit that I said, and she never said anything else in response. She just cut contact with me the next day. But I don't feel guilty for any of the things that I said because they needed to be said. And that's one of the reasons why our relationship failed in the first place, is because I could never say anything to her without her shutting down. I could never express the way that I was feeling or tell her about things that I felt were going wrong without her shutting down. And, it was frustrating. So anyway, I told her how I felt. She didn't like that too much. And she cut me out the next day. So that hurt, and then I was like, well, shit, maybe I should have just kept my fucking mouth shut because, now not only is the marriage officially over, but I don't even have her as a friend anymore, and I loved her as a friend. She was my friend. She was one of my best friends. And that is a connection that I miss even now. Even now, the pain still is there. It's still there. So she cut me out, and then just a couple weeks later, fucking COVID started. Well, COVID was starting at that time, but lockdown started a couple weeks later. It really hit the fan and blew up, and everything fell apart from there. And the following months were fucking misery for various reasons, you have COVID, you have the fact that she left, you have all the fucking things in my head about her not wanting to talk to me and the bullshit lies that she was making up and telling people, mutual friends, people that wouldn't have even been her friends if not for me, because they knew me first and they never would have even known who she was if I hadn't introduced them. Bullshit lies that she was telling people like that, and wondering whether these people believed her over me or me over her or whatever, and then October, my boy, I made a video on it when it happened, but my boy, he lost his baby girl. And that was hard because he's like my brother, and he lives with me too. He lives with me, and he's family. We've been friends for 15 years since high school. Just a couple years longer than I was with her. So that was hard. And then in November, my other best friend, Malachi, he passed away from COVID. Or COVID-related complications, I guess you could say. And now here we are. Here we are. I know the last year to the last year and a half has been hard for everybody. It's not just me. I don't want to seem selfish or blind to that fact at all. I'm just reflecting. I'm in a lot of pain emotionally, and that's always been a thing for me. I've struggled with depression for years, obviously, since I was a teenager. But it just gets so much harder as time goes on. It really does. Everybody tells you that it gets better as time goes on, but it's really quite the opposite. While everybody is telling you that as time goes on it'll get easier, it actually gets worse. It actually gets harder. I don't, and these people have been saying that to me for years now, but I don't see it getting better. I see it getting worse. I feel like it's just been one fucked up thing after another for as long as I can remember. Starting from my early 20s, it's just one fucked up thing after another. When does it get better? You know what I mean? You want to sit there and tell me it's going to get better. When? I'm going on 32 years old next month. And maybe that doesn't seem like a long time to a lot of other people that are older than me. But it's a long time to me. And I just want to know, how long does it take for things to start getting better? Because I don't want to be 50 years old before I'm happy. I want to be happy now. And I'm sure that almost anyone would agree with that. I don't know. And there's so much more on my mind than the things that I've discussed in this video. This is not just a breakup video where I'm just talking about the way that I feel because my girl left me and it's been a year. That's not all this is. There's so much other shit in my head that are, there's a variety of different topics that are making me feel like total fucking shit right now. But it would take me forever to talk about all of them in one video. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll try and get back into the whole YouTube thing and just start ranting. Like I said, I don't really give a fucking shit if anybody watches my stuff. This is really just therapeutic to me. If someone does watch it and it benefits them and I make friends out of it, that's awesome. That's great. But it's not why I do this. It's not what I set out to do. That's not the goal. The goal is to just blow off steam. And like I said, while I've been doing that in little bits and pieces on TikTok, I can only do it to a certain extent on TikTok because you only get 60 seconds. You only get up to 60 seconds per video. And that's okay. I don't mind that. I can sometimes fit what I'm feeling into a 60-second video if I try. But sometimes I can't, sometimes there is shit on my head that's just, it's very obviously going to take longer than 60 seconds. Like this video. We're now at 18 minutes and 30 seconds. So, I couldn't have done this on TikTok. And to be honest with you, I guess subconsciously I did it on YouTube because I know that nobody's going to watch it because nobody watches my shit. And I guess subconsciously I don't really want anyone to see it or comment on it. So YouTube was the better option for various different reasons. But that's how I'm feeling. And funny enough, too, I realized this earlier. Not only is it coming up on the 1-year anniversary since you left, but Valentine's Day is just 2 days or 1 day, I forget if it's a day or two after the anniversary of her leaving. So not only am I going to be single on Valentine's Day this year, but I'm also going to be thinking about the fact that the day before Valentine's Day, or 2 days before Valentine's Day, was the 1-year anniversary of the day that I ended up single. So I'll be alone on Valentine's Day, thinking about shit that I don't want to think about. It fucking sucks. But hey, it's Beer Guy here. Thank you, YouTube, whether you watch this or not. I don't fucking care, but thank you either way. Because you are an outlet for me. I am a writer, but I don't really enjoy writing my feelings down as much as I enjoy writing fiction. So YouTube provides me the outlet that I need when it comes to expressing the shit that goes on in this fucking dumpster of a head that I have. You know, TikTok is second best, but you can only get so much out in 60 seconds. So thank you, YouTube. Whether you watch my shit or not, I don't care. I'm just very grateful that you're here. And then I have this resource to be a whiny little bitch. Cheers. Well, so long and good night.